Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 39 of the Forsaken Council. And this week, we were gifted with another huge update by Kixeye. It was a pretty big update, but a lot of it was a lot of mega stuff in there, which I'm not sure how keen everybody is on that at the moment. But I'm joined by the wonderful Brian and, of course, Ren, and that stranger that you see next to Ren. I don't know who that is. Who is that guy?
So, yeah, you don't know who I am.
I've been the show once.
This whole show, man.
For the show once or twice. Okay. Just kidding.
What's up, everyone?
Stu is here. Mark is away on a training course. Hope that goes well, Mark. Enjoy that. And I believe George.
Secret mission.
He's on a secret mission. He is currently in a Kixeye office on a secret mission. No, just kidding. He's not going to start that rumor. And George is late, I think. George is AWOL.
Or dead. We don't know.
Could be dead. He could be out playing with his.
I hope not.
He could be out playing with his mega ship because I know he's a mega ship guy. So
yeah.
So guys, before I bore you any further with my whittling, we've got quite a lot to cover tonight. So we're going to try and do our best to do that justice. We may not be able to talk about some subjects as much as we would like to. And in which case, the slides will be posted into the page. We can discuss them there more. And maybe even we'll discuss some of the more interested topics on Saturday's show. But for the meantime, I will pass you over to the wonderful Ren with the slides. Let me highlight you, Ren.
Okay, so here we go. Where is that? Okay, ready? Can you see it?
Yeah. I've got you highlighted, Ren. I've got you covered.
Okay, so here we go. That was a very, very big release. We have the changes in the targets on map based on the raid. We have a new time-limited campaign called Malevolence. We're going to talk about the prizes from Malevolence TFC. We have a return of the Mega Hull Clash of the Titans campaign. 4th edition. We're going to talk about the prizes. We have some Mega Hull information, many changes in the dynamic that can actually make the Mega Hull more interesting to play. And then finally, upgrades, bug fixes, and tuning. So let's get started. The changes. So to summarize, I think, and that was the point last month when the Tide Seeker came out, that we raised with Kixeye. That it was confusing because throughout the month we saw river armadas on the map and they were still the old style back from September. So they're now adjusting those armadas on the map, the river armadas, to match what we saw in the last two raids actually.
Right.
Okay. And as soon as the December raid finishes on December 21st, these river armadas will officially become the source of uranium and fragments for skirmish hulls foundry. Okay. So for a month, from December 21st until some point in January, players will see both the old draconian armadas for uranium and the new river armadas for uranium. And after that 1 month transition period, then it's all river armadas throughout 2017 for us to get uranium. So that's the short of it.
There is like a white box on the right of your screen, Ren. I don't know if you've
a white what?
Like a white box on the right of your screen. I don't know if it's.
I don't know. I don't see anything.
See the annotation section there on the right? That actually should be showing on the full screen. I don't know. It's not relevant really. I just thought I'd let you know. Was all.
Even when I'm full screen, you still see that?
It was on the last 2 slides there. Yeah.
Weird.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Okay, I'm trying to turn that off.
It wasn't there in the pre-show, but.
Okay, gone.
There we go.
Is it gone now?
Yeah, it's gone. Yeah.
Okay. Do you see full screen now?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Okay, so there you go. So anyways, that's the summary. I mean, so the good news is anyone capable of doing the raid right now with Tiger Shark, Cell Raids, Tide Seeker has nothing to worry about. All you need to know is that as of December 22nd, these fleets will be used to get uranium and skirmish fragments. That's all you need to know. Easy. So
Right.
part of the quick site plan, like you build for raid, you have your chore taken care of. Anyone wants to comment about this one, or fairly straightforward?
Yeah, fairly straightforward.
I think it's really good for a couple of reasons. The blueprint fragments and uranium being in the same target means there's just less in general to do. You don't have to hit current Reaver armadas for fragments and then current Drac armadas for uranium. That's going to mean the removal of Drac armadas means less clutter on the map. We know that was a potential cause of the issue with VXP weekend where things weren't spawning when they really should have. So hopefully it's just going to make everything smoother and allow kicks to get out more targets when they need to.
Oh, yeah, good point. And I hope it declutters the map. Yeah, good. Okay, so release notes. Let's talk about release notes. Campaigns, changes. So let's get right into it. The Malevolence TLC. So it's the main prize is a new Conqueror Hall. It's gonna run starting today until next Tuesday. So everyone has a week. Take your time, don't rush. You know, there seems to be easy. We already have plenty of videos in our page about people doing it. All you have to do is defend your base. And, you know, you have 12 hours for the first run, 6 hours for the second run, 3 hours for the third run, and 1 hour for the last one. People with decent bases are reporting that they're doing it all without coins, and people with not so decent bases probably should think about putting some ships there that they can drive.
I was just about to say, you have to remember that like there's no real rules in this campaign. Do what you want. If you want to put a Rhino and drive it around in your base, do it. No one's going to mind you. Kickstarter's not going to send you a message saying you drove on me. Stop it.
And I think hair rates. If you have hair rates with fire twisters, I mean, they do a lot of damage. Drive them like crazy, you know. I still gotta watch the videos, but I think do the ships attacking you? Do they have thermal?
I think the scouts had thermal, and the other ones might have had sonar or something like that. I'm not 100%.
Okay, because yeah, maybe a mix of 1 or 2 hair rates, and you can nitpick the tailing ships, right? And it's a good chance for players to catch up. So have a week. The other thing, you have to be level 60 and above, and I know some people complain about that, saying, and I think they're right. It's a fair pet peeve, because once you're level 50, you're open game. Anyone can hit your base, but when it comes down to acquiring technology to defend your base, like this campaign has some turrets and everything, you need to be level 60 and above. That to me doesn't make sense. It should be gated level 50 and above, or then the open game level should be turned to 60 instead of 50 as it is today. What do you guys think about it?
I agree with you, actually, Ran. If you're game to everyone else at 50, you should be game at level 60 as well to kickstart. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. I think there's a disconnect in there where, Oh, go ahead, Liam. Sorry.
I don't like level gates. I don't like level, on anything. I think it's. I think most of the time it doesn't provide a positive. It provides a negative.
Yeah, but I think the gates should, if they are there, should at least be consistent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
Prices. And here's a typical example, right? Look at the price pack 1 price. A meteor mortar. I mean, that's super old technology that's useful on bases below level 50, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the campaign being gated at level 60, to me, offering that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's just a placeholder, really, isn't it? The meteorite mortar for prize pack 1.
Yeah, I mean,
Can I ask you guys?
Go ahead.
I was going to ask you guys a question, right? I don't know how you feel about this. When I went into BP earlier, because I've been flat out all night, I only had a chance to log in briefly before the show. It's instantly started me on prize pack 3. I'm assuming it's done the same to you guys, correct?
Because
no, everyone starts on prize pack 1 now because there's base parts in there, so you get.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Why has it started me on prize pack 3? Because
you have the turrets.
Yeah, but I want the base parts. 700k base parts is a lot to me.
I'll go and double
check. It started me at prize pack 1.
I'll load up now just to test, but I'm on prize pack 3. So
that's where I started too. But if I changed it,
did you start it yet, Liam?
No, I haven't started yet.
when you started, it says price pack 3 because that's what I thought I was on 2. But when you started, it actually starts you on 1.
Okay, perfect. Because I don't want to lose his base parts, you know.
Yeah, no. It actually bump you up when you start it. It's some sort of glitch or something. But I thought the same thing because I was like, man, I want the base pots.
Yeah, I don't want to like sound moany, but
yeah, I went to start it and nothing.
And also,
first.
Welcome to the show, George.
Yeah,
Thanks,
hi,
guys,
George.
Sorry.
So Price Pack 2 is the APOC mortar. I think that's a decent turret for people, you know, like coming up the levels. And if you don't have a long range turret, that's even. I mean, my base is 104, and I still have a couple of APOCs in there. They're useful.
Right? I still use 2 myself.
Exactly.
Yep.
I still have 4, I think.
And more base parts, which is cool because you can go, and if you have the resources, you can pretty much win the blueprint and instantly go and fit 1 or 2 of them with those base parts if you want. And then we go into price packs 3 and 4, where you get the Maxim gun turret, which is a long-range turret. We'll talk about it in the next page. Mm-hmm. And price pack 4, you get the Malice, a new Conqueror hull that has strength on ballistics. That was missing in the puzzle, right? We didn't have a ballistic Conqueror hull, so here you go. Mm-hmm. And you get a token, 12-day one 12-day token for that ship. So I believe 12-day you can get a fully fitted ship instantly, and a badge. Mm-hmm. All right, so
the base parts, you get a nice shiny badge.
Yep.
Shiny badge. Nice. I do love a good badge.
Me too. So let's get into the turret. Maxim gun turret. It says here it's a variation of the minigun. The minigun was a limited turret, if people remember. Mm-hmm. More like a frontline turret with 130 range, give or take. That shoots concussives, a depth charge turret, but funnily enough, is a depth charge turret that does not hit submarines, only surface. But it deals concussive damage. So this is a regular version. It's not limited. You can build as many as you want once you get the blueprint. It has an amazing range of 235.
That has to be the highest minimum range I've ever seen, though.
It is.
Yeah, I think the minimum at 90 is probably similar to the Javelin.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
so once you're close to the center of the base, the turret won't fire at you anymore. Mm-hmm. Right. But it's very hard to find a place to park your ships now, because once you're rimming the base or trying to park vendettas around the rim, for instance, that turret's going to get you, and it hurts. I mean, you put a bunch of those together, you put them near some fire support modules, right? Mm-hmm. You put the right specials, and now it starts with a reload time of 7 seconds. If you put some fire support, you already cut that down probably to 3-4 seconds. Now it has
Sorry, right?
It has a wind up. I was just going to say that it has a wind up function where you get a 1300% bonus reload in small steps of 100. You know, it's once it gets wound up, it's just a monster. It's going to be firing non-stop.
Yeah, once it's got something in its sights.
If you can keep it firing though, because if its wind up is the same as the minigun, man, it takes a long time to wind it up.
It does, but I mean, with a range of 235, where are you gonna? If you're the attacker, where are you gonna park your ship so they are out of range? You know what I mean?
I was just about to say. Last night, I actually prepped a base out using 1 Fury and 3 Rhinos. I parked my Rhinos at the side, sent the Fury in, and prepped out a Vanquisher. This turret can single-handedly stop me from doing that.
Yep. People park
in the right place.
My Rhino Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was finished. I was just saying, like, you know, this turret in the right place can shred my Rhinos in seconds. So that puts an end to that prep for me.
It can have an impact in other spectrums as well, because if you look at players with like revenges that like to drive around the edge of a base to get the maximum stack on Bloodthirst, I mean, this thing is really going to cover most areas of your range. I mean, that 235 is fucking huge, you know?
Yeah. They'll be getting hit the whole time. That's true.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty much, I mean, I don't think if you're reaming a base or coming close to the rim anywhere, I mean, there's nowhere you can park your ships where you can fire at something without that turret firing at you first. Mm-hmm. So it's going to wind up pretty fast. I mean, you know, it's and again, it's not limited. So you can have 2 or 3. Like I'm thinking people who still have like javelins in their bases might want to consider this guy instead. You know, like even the ballistas. I have a ballista and a Deadeye ballista in my base. I'm thinking of ditching them and putting this one in place instead. At least 1 or 2.
Yeah, this is definitely not a hole to ignore. Excuse me. This is definitely not a turret to ignore for anyone, with a keen eye for your base defense. This is definitely a turret that you need to be building. Definitely a turret that should be considered and put into your base. At least 2, 3 of them.
Yeah. It doesn't seem that hard to get either. That's the one thing that again, Kicksai's kind of giving you. A gimme on this at least.
I agree with that. I think Prize Pack 3 was a walk in the park. Well, to be honest, for me, the whole lot was a walk in the park. But looking at it from an average player point of view, maybe someone that has not got God knows how many level 7 turret and all that, then it's fairly easy to get, especially considering how easy the first 2 were as well. You can breeze through it easily.
Yeah.
Minimum point.
I want to know what that little function is on those last chips on number 7 to the last prize pack. Did you guys notice that?
I did. The little shiny green light.
Yeah. I'm curious to know
what that is. The new hole coming into my base, but I looked a bit closer and they don't actually look like it.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is, but it was a neat little. I mean, once that thing started glowing, they weren't taking damage near as fast.
What were you talking
about?
Almost
like a rage effect.
Yeah, George went on a tangent. I mean, he's talking about the end of the campaign here, I think, and most people didn't see
it. I'll just save it.
So that's the turret, and like you guys said, I think everyone should go get Prize Pack 3, even if you're not into hitting bases, but you care about defending your base. Get the turret.
And even for players that have players that have maybe missed some of maybe the Deadeyes and Javelins and even maybe APOCs. I mean, if for players that are or even players that are not as old school and are quite new to being at that level and being able to hit these prizes, this is a great turret to get and put in your base. So.
Oh yeah. And the other thing is it has splash, and there's a special for this turret that gives 50% more splash and 50% more concussive damage. I think it's 1550 or 1560, something like that.
1660. I forget the name of it, but it's on the minigun turret.
Yes, it's a special that came out with the minigun turret. I mean, that one's going to immediately move the damage from 4,800 to 7,200 damage, right? Or more, or 7,500. And the splash goes... the splash goes from 12 to 18 or something like that.
But I wonder if how does this weapon fire? Does it fire like a very low arc mortar where it's going to shoot like a?
It fires like the minigun. It fires like a cannon, pretty much. It works like a cannon.
But in which case, its projectile speed would be very,
very fast.
Which is why I put what's it called? Zimphonite shells. I added that on top of my the minigun special, which I can't think of the name either.
You know about the Z. I know which one you mean. Yeah.
It is just called the minigun turret, but that gives it even more splash, which helps against a lot of quick-moving ships where they might be out of.
People stack. I mean, people stack is heaven, right? I mean, that turret with splash and stacked ships is just like paradise.
I mean, the whole campaign looks to be stacked ships. So.
Lurido's mentioned in the YouTube chat there that it is a very power-hungry weapon as well, and it is actually quite high on power consumed.
Yeah, but you gotta keep in mind, Outpost 9 is around the corner, and people will, after upgrades, get more base power. So
Outpost 9? What are you talking about? Outpost 9?
What?
What? No way would they do that. We've only just had Outpost 8. That was only a few months ago.
By the way, I'm upgrading my last turret. I'm literally
on this
upgrading my last turret.
On this episode of Kicks Forums Theater, Liam 99.
So let's move on. Let's talk about the Malice, the new hull.
Yay.
So this is a River Conqueror hull with bonuses for cannons. First thing that caught my eye is the ballistic range is +50. So when you add nuclear accelerators or you add Hardened Barrels 3, you actually get 100% bonus, just like you get on the Valiant or the Gamma B. You can get your cannons at 100 range, which is amazing, right? It's the first time you get that on a non-defending ship that I remember, at least.
I kind of feel like this hull should have come out with a new cannon, though.
I agree with that, actually. I was looking at it myself, and I was like, well, what cannon should I be using on this? Because I'm not quite sure.
It should have come with a new cannon. You would think, at least to bring it in line with the 108 range that we're used to across the other board of weapons. But I don't know, maybe I'm just talking.
Wait, 108?
Not 108.
If you're a god.
I was just about to say, turn your hack off.
Well,
not 108. You know what I mean? The range of...
Yeah, 103, 102,
102, 103, 104.
Yeah.
In that range, yeah. Well, maybe this might be a thing for the December raid. If they do give us a ballistic hull, maybe that will have a cannon geared against buildings, and so that would go well on this.
But then that would be pretty crap thing to do, because.
Well, I'm thinking, and that's just my educated guess. I'm thinking they put this hull in the TLC now, so there's room in December's raid for them to offer the PVE hull for the next raid cycle.
Yeah, of course. That's exactly what they're doing. They did
I
that with
the last one of the collection, isn't it? I mean, we've had everything else, but this is now ballistic. That's the last one, right?
Yeah, that's Conqueror hull number 3 that they said.
This is what we should be getting in December, but they're staying true to their word, which is what they've done with the last, just before this raid cycle.
With the Hell Raid.
With the Hell Raid, yeah. So they're staying true to that, so fair play to Kickside for that. But
we don't know that yet. We don't know that yet.
But
see, my takeaway from this now is that we have one rumor for the next hull, and then the second rumor of Liam's hack, so,
108 for the win.
The 108.
Yeah. So, quick run through the hull. It has a decent combat speed, and probably people are going to use the nuclear accelerator and get even faster, right? It has a fair defense deflection against penetrative missiles. Very, very good defense against corrosive and concussive. So you could say this guy is there to counter the most common build of the Valiant that just came out. Right? So this is the guy to counter the Calamity Scattergun, pretty much.
Honestly, from where I'm looking at this whole, I didn't mean to interrupt you, sorry, but where I'm looking, it's another one of those mix and match puzzle pieces again.
Absolutely.
Like the Spy, like the Retribution, the Revenge, you can mix and match it once again.
Because it seems
What's cool about this whole, though, that's the guy, honestly, that's the guy I want kind of like leading my charge, because if you look at the rightmost panel, it has an overload that affects all ships in the fleet and gives a plus 200 salvo. So that means your regular salvo plus 2, so 3 in a row, right? Just like the old Grimshine, just like the old Grimshine Zerker. I mean, can you imagine this guy spotting for Vendettas and you get a triple salvo of mortars? I mean, that's insane, right? And it gives all the ships plus 50% combat speed, turn speed, ballistic, penetrative, reload bonus, and ballistic and penetrative damage of 50%, right? During the reload. 10 seconds. So for 10 seconds,
overload is very scary.
I mean, here's the thing.
If this guy's leading fights, I mean, can you imagine that leading? Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, leading's actually really good, because given the weakness it has against explosive, you want it to just run by as much of the mortars from any.
Explosive is not the problem, because if you get bloodthirst, you get 4,000 explosive deflection, which is okay.
Nah,
the main weakness
not against some of the Halak citadels that are out there now.
I agree, but the main weakness is radioactive. I mean, it has 0 radioactive.
Right, and what I'm saying is, if you lead with this, that way you can avoid the explosive, which is one of its weaknesses, and then get it to overload for everything else that's firing. If you have, like, say, Vendettas sitting on the outside, I mean, just with Speed System 5 and the nuclear accelerator, it's at what, like 45-ish speed? I mean, that's a pretty fast little boat to be hopping into your base.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And the other thing is, like, about this guy, like, when people ask about builds and whatnot, it has 0 evade, so you could buff its evade, but I was going to say this is the perfect hull for people to be using radioactive plates.
Yeah.
100% agreed, yeah.
Well, it's a must on this hull, isn't it?
It's a must. I mean, you've got to put at least 2 plates in there to get 10,000 radioactive deflection. Then you're talking about a very, very strong hull. Because it's going to have all around deflection, and the weakest points would be penetrative at 3,000, and like George said, explosive at 4,000, right? Sorry, was it George or Stu who said it?
It was George.
George, yeah.
But I'm actually quite squared about the weapon salvo. I mean, using it for vendettas as well. I mean, think of the amount of mortars. Wow.
Yeah, I'm thinking vendettas and spites, because when you get like 4 spites running triple salvo and then for 10 seconds having 100% reload bonus and 50% damage bonus, you can just blitz a base with that.
Your splash game just went to a whole new level with your running vendettas behind it.
Yep.
Like you're looking at taking out islands and stuff like that by targeting one ship.
It's going to run well. It's going to combo well with Spice, isn't it? Looking at the overload effect, it's going to really.
I think so. Yeah. Like my first thought was like to combo this guy with vendettas because of the overload, triple salvo, and combining with spites because of all the overload bonuses, right?
Yeah.
And who knows? A crazy pirate may run in a Grimshine Berserker behind it just to trigger off some crazy overload. You just never know. No? Okay.
I don't know. I mean,
Go away. Go back to your corner.
Here's the difference.
I mean, there's 3 armor slots on it, so you're not gonna be able to. How much could you get? How much evade could you get on it if you did it that way? I mean, if you have 2 plates for the.
As far as I'm concerned, you wouldn't run evade. You'd be running the deflection plates.
It's just gonna.
Well, you can use
a Vanquisher would fucking end you.
You can use GS3 or AS3 or 4 and still get this guy to like 50-60% evade, which is respectable.
Which is adequate enough. I mean, it's not great, but it's adequate enough. Maybe.
Yeah, it's respectable, right? Because you want this guy to take some damage because the overload triggers every 10,000 armor, and it has 75. So you put the plates and everything. Let's say you maybe get it to. I don't think you're going to get it to 90. So you have a chance at 8 overloads during an attack. Mm-hmm. 8 overloads without those buffs, it's enough probably to flatten most bases, I would think.
Yeah,
the hull can survive long enough.
This is going to be a pain in the ass.
Oh, yeah. Especially with missile retarget. Oh, boy.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you could even you could probably run some gimmick builds with this as well. I mean, you could.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
You could mess around with all sorts of different stuff, like we did back in the day when we did use Grimshine Berserkers.
Oh yeah, Grimshine Berserker,
UAVs,
everything.
Jack, UAV carriers coming back. Yeah.
Here it goes. You have a thing with the UAVs. I
swear to God, if I see UAVs,
I'm so sad. They died.
UAVs chaining from the outside of the base with this thing.
If I see that,
I've got those gold 3-star deaths from aboves. I ain't scared.
Okay, guys, let's move on. I mean, but I really like this Sony. I think some people will say it's overpowered. But again, Outpost 9's coming. Oops.
Yeah, I guess.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
And when OP9 comes, I imagine every PvP hull we currently have will be shite again. So, look forward to that.
So let's move on. The next one, Mega Hull. So, George, over to you.
Oh, really? Am I doing the Mega Hull thing?
No, I mean, only if you want to. Otherwise, I'll do it.
George, a rumor has it in the TFC camp that you are the Mega Hull guy.
I think that's incorrect. I think that would be Ren.
Yeah,
no,
right.
it's definitely not.
Don't you dare say my name.
So, okay, let's quickly run through this then. So we've had another TLC also running for a week in parallel with the Malevolence. This is the Clash of Titans version 4. You have 5 run-throughs, just 1 or 2 encounters, 1 hour to do most of them. Of course, you need a Mega Hull to participate, and you need it like at a certain level so you can survive the encounters. So my advice to people who only just built their Hyperion with just 1 weapon, this is not for you. This is for people who have it with 4, 5, 6 weapons fitted, so you can actually win.
Can I just add on that? Because the first time this came out, I actually was in exactly that spot. Like I had just finished my Mega Hull. It was so frustrating not to be able to even try this damn thing. It was so bad. I was upset. I think that has to get worked on a little bit, particularly if they keep on wanting to push it, given, some of the changes that happened today.
Yeah, honestly, I think run-throughs 1 and maybe even 2 should be doable by a basic vanilla newborn Hyperion.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
Not the others, but at least the first 1 or 2. Otherwise, it's just, like you said, very frustrating.
Yes.
But some things got better. We'll get there. So prices, as from before, the Congreve rocket module is available level 1. Price pack 2, you get 2 different engine modules with some fluffs to each one of them. Price 3, you get the drone module, which is it's a countermeasure module, right?
No, the drone module actually is offensive. It's
offensive. Oh, okay.
Yes, it sends out
like
missile drones. Yeah, like a Hellstar.
Okay, gotcha.
Kind of.
Price pack 4, you get a breach drone module, which I have no idea what it does. Someone?
That one
Anyone?
will allow you to have your drones protect other megas inside the hive when you're hived.
Oh, cool.
And then the next 2 are interesting.
Yeah, I gotta say something. Eh? The first person.
They're interesting, aren't they? They're interesting.
I want to say something. First of all,
nice.
a few months ago, one of the TFC admins messaged Kix's Eye and said, "Hey guys, it would be really cool with the mega hulls. If we could have some helicopters."
Was not me. It was not
No,
me.
it was Mark. It was Mark.
Was this done as a joke?
I don't want any more hate mail.
Mark's not here and we can't even play. Great.
I have enough hate mail right now as it is. I don't need any more.
George.
I say that back in
about
August or September, Mark messaged Kix's Eye and I saw that, and said, "Hey, it would be really cool if we had some helicopters as part of the mega hull dynamic." And you know what?
Right.
I think someone liked his idea, and here they are.
Well, since Mark's not here, by default, George takes the blame because he's the new guy, right?
Right.
Yes, Stu.
So
Yes.
does MH
Pass
stand
on to
for?
me. So Stu's doing the rest of the mega presentation, right?
So no, we're just gonna quickly breeze through it. So just saying, I mean, each helicopter module, one of them is an anti-cannon, the other one is an anti-mortar. So they do work as countermeasure modules. And for the first time in the game, not only we have helicopters, but we have anti-cannon countermeasures.
Yeah.
And the way they work and the whole dynamic, if people read the release notes. And
I wouldn't be surprised if we started seeing anti-cannon coming into,
That's the
non-mega
thing ever.
Yeah,
How can you have an anti-cannon?
Well, it might be like a countermeasure. We've got one for missiles, we've got one for explosives. The cannon's next, right?
What you got to do?
Look at the
in game we have evade. That's our anti for the cannon.
Well, why don't we get Mark to message him and say, "Hey, this is a really good idea," and we'll see what happens in 3 months.
Yeah, anyone who likes the quadcopter, please message Mark. He'll love it.
I'm gonna have a chat with Mark tonight.
So anti-cannon
why don't y'all do that?
Anti-cannons are done very precise aiming. As the bullet comes, you got to just aim and just boink right outside. Also, alternate theory, because it's in San Francisco, Kix was looking at people flying drones outside of their office and was like, "I am so sick of these darn things. Wait a minute. I know where we can
blame
use
Amazon?
This. Yes.
Is that what you're saying? We're blaming Amazon now? Okay.
Pretty much.
Basically.
I'm happy with that. Amazon banned my account, so let's blame them.
Just quickly, let's just quickly talk about the quadcopters. I mean, they work like ships in the sense that when you look at their stat block, they have a number of weapon slots, they have a number of armor slots and special slots.
Yes.
Deflection, and they have handicap. So on that special slot, please do not add any special that gives resistance, because it's not going to work. Mm-hmm. They are very fast, 60 combat speed and 40 turn speed, and they have bypass. So they will, if you put an offensive weapon there, they will hurt your ship like in full, right? Just bypassing everything. The weapon that was made to go with them is the anti-cannon quadcopter Mk1. It has spread, it has a long range, slow reload time, and it throws 6 pieces of chaff in the air. They will hang in there for 5 seconds. And so if your cannons fire and hit the chaff, which has a 50% chance based on the accuracy, your cannon ball will not hit your target. That's how it works.
I love that they called it chaff. I love that they called it chaff.
Yes, that's an interesting choice of a name.
Is there something you're not telling us, Brian?
I mean, I looked up what
Like
chaff
the
is
reason for
earlier.
your pink bedsheet.
Can you just Google image search what that means, Brian?
So what I wanted to
I
say, sorry guys, before
No, go
just so we keep moving, I was just going to say, this important to say, this weapon is not a countermeasure, so it's not buffed by countermeasure specials. Because if you look at the next module, the anti-mortar, the damage type is countermeasure. So that one has 35% accuracy. It can be buffed by countermeasure specials, right? The previous one, it's a new weapon type we've never seen before, chaff. It's not buffed by any specials that are aimed at the pre-existing weapon types.
Mm-hmm.
Just wanted to make the distinction there. And let's talk about Mega Hull. So here's the overall behavior. I don't know if anybody wants to go deeper into that, but it's the whole behavior of the quadcopter. You know, I'm not going to read all that.
There is definitely one thing that we should cover, and that's if you want to actually attack those quadcopters directly, you have to have you're very limited in which weapons you can use. Anything that has an area of an effect type of thing, like mortars
Rockets.
or anything with splash, anything with piercing, rockets, anything like that, you cannot use them to fire at these. So, like siege cannon won't work. Impact cannon.
So
will
would
work.
let me ask you, would the Garwood work? Because the Garwood does, it has accuracy. It's not dumb fire.
Spread and splash. Does that? If it has spread or splash or piercing, it's not going to work. That's the way I understand.
I mean, no, it doesn't say if it has spread or splash doesn't work. It says it cannot be a torpedo. It has to be a single target weapon, direct fire weapon. So certainly missiles fit the bill.
Right. My understanding is if it's piercing, spread, splash, any of those components are on the print or on the weapon, it's not going to work.
Yeah,
That's
but the spread splash is because it's area of effect. Is the Garwood an area of effect weapon, or does it aim at the target? That was my only doubt when I read that. Was Garwood and reciprocator, these two?
If a weapon, we don't have it on the slide, but it's.
Yeah, but it has an area of effect. It's not going to. I don't believe it's going to work.
So let's assume
that was my understanding of it.
Okay, let's assume that Garwood, reciprocator, and Gatling gun will not work then.
Yeah.
So that leaves us with the traditional cannons, like D33, D30, right? These guys.
Right.
And that leaves us with missiles. Pretty much. Okay.
Radioactive too.
I mean, it shouldn't really throw a lot of people off because most people are already going in with Apollos or with Spites and stuff.
Yeah.
Battle, so it's it's not going to really throw it that far off. I'm kind of curious as to how this mechanic's actually going to really work in the real world, because this just sounds a little overly complicated to me. But
yeah, and let me ask you, will the airstrike UAV work? It's a direct fire weapon. It has no splash, no spread.
Ooh, I don't know. That's a damn good question, though, isn't it?
But it can change. So it can change. So it's multi-target.
Dogfights.
Dogfights. Yo.
Dogfights in a pirate game. We did it.
I think Liam will be the first one to try it. He loves his UAVs.
Yeah. So so here are questions we don't know: Garwoods and the other concussive guns, and the airstrike drone, UAV.
I think I have some on my Harlock Atlas carriers.
And additionally, one other thing too is these are not drones too. I can't remember. There was a reason why they actually made the.
They're actually ships. They're like ships because you can equip them.
Right. But they don't. Right, and you can equip the drone on the Mega as well, though. But what affects a drone, like the drone bridge module, will not affect the quadcopters. They actually have them differentiated in the code.
Yeah, well, they say that the drones are water-based and the quadcopters air-based. That's the main difference in the code. It's down there. Okay. Here's the behavior of the anti-cannon chaff. Like I said, I mean, it's going to throw them in the air. The chaff, it floats in the air for 5 seconds. And anything that hits the chaff will not hit the target at all. Right?
Right.
I can tell you that nobody on the team is from the Midwest or the South for picking that word.
No, Brian was happy about it.
Brian's a California boy, though. I bet she's never seen the chaff in a field. So
I mean, all I did was Google it. I'm sure it has other uses that are words that I can't say on air. It has other connotations, but let's not get into that.
It means
Day
shit.
After show.
It's the crap that's all over the field after you. Yeah, no, it's just it means crap, and it's just something that people in the Midwest or mostly in the South will use it.
I've heard it used to mean that a couple of times over here.
It's a military term for something, but I can't remember what it is. I remember it being in the game called Metal Gear Solid when I was a kid, but I can't remember for the life of me what it meant.
Isn't chaff like the bits that are thrown off of?
Yeah, it was like a stun sort of thing. I can't think of what it was now. I'm not Googling.
Okay, guys, let's move on. The whole I'm getting chaffed, so let's move on.
He's getting chaffed.
So yeah, we discussed the countermeasure for the anti-mortar, same as your typical mortar countermeasure, except it will not fire at mortars fired by regular ships. It only fires at mortars fired by your mega hull. Okay? And they're saying now there's a new countermeasure only weapon slot, and if you put a coaxial weapon in that module, only the countermeasure half of it's going to work. I think the best example is either the examples are the Trident or the Switchblade. If you put that in a countermeasure slot, only the countermeasure mode is going to work. Okay, so here are all the modules now can be upgraded to levels 3 or 4.
Yeah, that makes some things interesting as well.
Such as?
Just stronger weapons for people that are already up on this game is just going to push them a little bit further than everyone else. It's going to be interesting because like I know I'm just starting to put my very first drone module on, and I'm like, I saw this and I was like, well, before I do anything else, I'm upgrading some of the other stuff. It's
just coin it, George. I mean, you are the mega hull guy.
Yeah, I'm a mega hull guy. Sadly, I'm not a coining guy either, so
No. But you should just speed it up so you're ahead of the game.
Yeah. You sending me an early Christmas present, Liam? Is that what it is?
Well, I don't coin, so
He's gonna send you a pink dildo, George.
Ren, where did that come from?
It came from your drawer, Liam. Why are you asking me that?
But okay, I will. That's what the team got for Christmas last year. So Ren knows that's what the team got last year. So this is what the team will get this year.
Wait, we get Christmas presents?
Yeah, pink dildos.
Not you, Stu.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, no, Stu.
Okay. So, guys, the other thing we're going to have this weekend increased fragment drop. So anyone trying to retrofit or unlock things from the foundry, if your sector bar is yellow, you get twice as many fragments. And if your sector bar is orange, you get 3 times more fragments. So people
can I just say
stuff.
A quickie from GDR in the YouTube chat through Laredo. No special can be added to the CM UAVs to help them. Like the drones, they are a standalone thing. Just a little update there on that.
I won't even pretend to understand what that means.
Yeah, I'm not even sure yet. So, but I haven't.
But
done
no
my
special
drones.
can be added to the countermeasure UAVs to help them. Like the drones, they are a standalone thing that you can't add any specials.
Also, you're saying you can add the specials that increase accuracy of the countermeasure.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
That's counterintuitive because it says weapon type countermeasure.
They were their standalone thing. Nothing can boost them.
And they have a special slot, so that's confusing.
I think GDR should just hop on in the middle of this show and come in and explain some of this stuff.
Well, we did have that Megaship special with GDR. Maybe we could get a round 2 of that. Yeah, like now that we're further into the project, a lot of the stuff that was discussed in that episode has come to light. So maybe we could even go into a round 2. What's next? Where are we? Stuff like that, maybe.
Well, let me get some of my Mega done first.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta get some more stuff on the Mega done, so we're at least familiar with it, so we can ask some questions of stuff that's because it makes a lot of it makes more sense as you're starting to get into it. I will say that. In that episode, since now that we've brought that up, weren't there? In fact, there was. I'm sure of it. It's been a couple of months and a lot's happened, but I'm 100% sure that GDR showed us a whole layout of a Reaver Mega Hull. What happened to that?
That's coming later.
I thought that wasn't that meant to be coming before Christmas, or have I lost my mind?
No, you lost.
I don't remember any mention of that before Christmas.
Right. No, I'm probably wrong, and if I am, don't hold me to that, guys, because I'll have to go back and watch that episode again to find out the schedule on that, the date.
Yeah, I don't.
Anyway,
I think what it is too is the problem.
Mega hulls from other factions were coming, but that's all.
Yeah,
there was no promise. There was no promise date. Sorry, there was no promise date, but I think there was maybe a suggested possible date.
Okay, let's move on to bug fixes. Yay!
Okay, well, I can read these out if you would like.
Go ahead.
Easy part for me. Okay. Kind regards. Made adjustments to the time to engage a target on the world map that should help to prevent scenarios where a player's fleet may be engaged in combat with a player's base, but can also be given the move/attack commands on the world map. Has anyone experienced that?
Frequently.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Often.
Double battles all the time.
Double battles.
Yeah.
Double battles. Am I in battle? Do I need to clear my cache and refresh again? Oh God, what's happened? Am I dead?
Yeah.
Basically,
do I wait and click out, or I mean, what the? Yeah, that's been getting worse and worse.
That is an important bug fix. Very important. If it works.
Okay. Also, the next one is added in a warning that would inform players attempting to engage a megaship campaign with a megaship under damage protection that they are unable to engage in combat on account of the damage protection state. God, I didn't know what that went over.
I'm confused because does it mean, I mean, you start the Mega Hull campaign and then you take some damage and then you want to do the next stage. And if you're under damage protection, you can't do it. So what if you want to coin your Mega Hull and keep going, but you're still under... Does damage protection ends immediately when you fix your hull?
The damage protection is only, and this actually is something later, is actually in the next one where it says that the conditions for the megaship,
the bridge,
damage protection. Now that was working fine up until last week's update, and then we had all sorts of problems with, you get damage for like a minute and a half. You can't touch anything until you're repaired, which sucked. But I think what this was that if you were in the campaign, it would not let you engage, but it wouldn't tell you why you couldn't engage. So a lot of people were getting frustrated and sending in tickets because somebody forgot to put a pop-up. So they added the warning going, hey, you're damaged.
Am I right in saying that you only get damage protection if your bridge is damaged?
I believe that is correct, yes.
Okay, so if you take some damage to your weapon modules for only, you could keep going, right?
Continue. Yes. Yeah, okay, because that's what I would do is I'd go out and hunt megabits, and I'd go until I was dead.
Right.
Now it's you hit one thing, flatten it, and you can't hit anything until everything's repaired. Now.
Okay.
Okay. Let's jump onto the next one. Fix the conditions for which a mega ship enters damage protection. Mega ship should only enter damage protection when the bridge is destroyed.
So there you go. That answers the other question. Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, go on.
Liam, Raiken wants to come on the show right now. He's trying to ping you on Facebook.
Hey,
okay.
I can send him the link if you want.
Yeah, do that. Let me.
So let's keep doing the bug fixes.
Do you want to? You take care of it, George.
Yeah.
No. Okay. So the. Sorry.
Tuning updates.
Yeah, so sorry guys. The mega specific tuning updates increase the spawn rate of the mega ship 91 target during sector threat orange.
Which is good because people sometimes got it orange and then had to wait until the top of the hour or the half hour to have a 91 spawn and just chew per Draconian base. And so now we're going to have more spawning, which is good.
Good. Okay. Next one. Reduce the requirement to breed. Reduce the requirement to begin building a gantry from R&D level 20 to R&D level 5. So that's a good thing. Does that help you out, Brian?
I'm on 11. So
you strike me as a guy that finished R&D level 30 months ago.
No.
Okay.
Now it's funny because to me, and I'm not saying that as a critic, but to me, Kixeye initially had said that the mega hull was supposed to be an end game only feature, and that's why they had high requirements and whatnot, right? So by lowering the level you need and by increasing spawn of the 91s, to me they want to make it more popular by now, right? That's my impression.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be an end game feature anymore.
Dude, there's something wrong with me. How the hell did I miss that?
But unless they're trying to make mega holes more, like, I know what mega holes is meant to be an end game for you, but maybe they're trying to make
I don't think it's
less
end game anymore. I mean, if you have R&D level 5, people at lower levels who have that done.
I have R&D level 20.
A lot of people also felt left out because it was so hard. You know, there was a lot of complaints going. It's so hard to just even get there, and then it takes so much time to do it, and then so much this and so much that, and then we have people like Stu that'll just fall asleep the minute someone says mega.
Hang on, right? I didn't even know that you could build a gantry after R&D 20. I thought I had to wait to 30. I've literally been sat here wasting my time. Why did no one tell me? This is how much I hate megas.
Because every time I tried to talk about mega.
Stu, don't you run a page that has 11,000 members in, and it's all about tactics and design and that?
Actually, it's 13,000. And if anyone ever posts something about mega holes in there, I delete it quicker than you can say my name.
And you're telling me that you didn't notice that R&D level 20 gantry thing?
So,
I know nothing about mega holes.
Right there.
That's why I'm saying there's definitely something wrong with me. How did I miss that?
Right.
Well, we know there's something wrong with you. I mean, there's no question about that.
All right, well, I'm going to go build my gantry, so I'm going on mute.
All right, let me, Ren, you go. I'll highlight you.
Okay, I'm just going to say this page has the most, I think, the biggest amount of mega hull I've ever seen. So a bunch of good news here for mega hull only.
Loads of, yeah. I mean, it would be just go and read it in the forum. If not, check the slides on the page. I'm just not going to sit and read it for all the mega hull tunes. But there's been a lot of tuning and tweaking to mega hulls.
Sorry, can I just say something? I mean, this page really has good stuff because now you can build the two basic modules, the cannon and the mortar, with just one advanced component. So you don't need to be able to stock 2 and 3 and most likely have them stolen in the meantime. You just, as soon as you craft one, you can go and build the module. So now the entry level barrier to get a functioning mega hull with a bunch of modules, it's much easier. And
well, I'm going to say,
so that's great.
Yeah, I'm also going to add, a lot of the stuff that they seem to have tuned on this is actually in direct response to most of the complaints that people have been sending them with regard to the megas.
Yes.
I mean, there's been complaints about the bubble was not long enough because it took you so long to make, X component or Y component, and then how many of them you needed. And they actually tuned to each actual aspect that they got the complaints about. I mean, the repair times, the only thing that I did not see, I mean, I've all this stuff has been responsive to the complaints. The only thing that I didn't see was whether or not we could actually get the concurrent repairs actually cost concurrent as well. So rather than have 10 modules at 12-hour repairs taking 120 hours worth of gold, it should get down to that 12 hours of gold. That would be nice, but I guess I can't ask.
Yeah, that's the same mechanic as the turrets in base, right? And you want to have that overall consolidated base repair cost for the mega hull. I don't think that's there. But the good news is now that the modules only take 4 hours to repair. The bridge takes 24, which is the duration of your damage protection. So now you can actually finish research if you're doing anything under a bubble, virtual bubble.
Well, finish the research or start working on the turrets while they've because they repair first while you're still under protection. You can actually start what you wanted to start and get ahead, because a lot of the smaller guys were really complaining about that.
That was the main complaint, one of my main complaints, even because you could never, unless you were all the time out there hitting other mega hulls to get your components, you couldn't keep up, right? But now this mechanic's a lot better. I think a lot more reasonable. So who knows? Mega hull maybe became an interesting thing now.
I'm pretty upset with the mega hull again. I just went to look at my gantry and wanted to build it, realized that I could build it, and it said 0 out of 120 fragments.
Look, can I just ask you again? You run a page of 13 pounds of players, right?
I did.
And you're telling me that you didn't realize you had to get Hyperion parts, right?
No. Literally, anytime anyone's ever brought up anything about mega hulls and all that, I'm just like, right, that's it, dropping the call. Well, I can't deal with it.
Sorry, I was just going to say, GD Raikan is incoming, I believe, maybe just to come on for. He hasn't got a lot of free time, but he's going to come on and try and answer a few questions for any of the megaship questions we had. So we can hit Raikan with a few of them if he manages to jump in time. That is
cool.
So have we gone through all of the bug fixes in tuning?
Yeah, I mean, the last one is just all the details on the why they made the changes. I mean, it's a lot of paragraphs to read, but we already commented on that. 24-hour damage protection, bridge takes 24. You can coin that because the bridge now doesn't repair only after the modules at the same time. Raiken.
There he is, the man, the myth, the legend that is GD Raikan.
Good evening or afternoon.
Raiken, why didn't you tell me I needed 120 fragments? What the hell, man? You're supposed to hook me up.
Not used to. You complain too much.
Weren't you in the TFC where they give us all free fragments though?
Oh, did I miss that? Oh,
there's a pill on the side. There's in-game offers. There's your Hell Earth VXP tokens and some gantry fragment bits and 120 Hyperion fragments for 40, I think it was. Something like that.
Well, guys, let me just check something. Raiken, say something. Just want to see if it's working.
Hey, can you hear me all right?
There we go.
There you go. Well, firstly, Raiken, thanks for coming on. Welcome to the show, buddy. Great to see you. Hope you're well. And guys, was there any the mega hull questions that we were discussing? I mean, what was the stuff we wanted to?
I'm very curious about the mechanics with regard to the new choppers, because we're not sure exactly what can and can't shoot them down, how much they're actually going to affect interactions between the mega hulls, and then how much damage can they do to other mega hulls? Can they be equipped to attack as well as defend?
Okay. That's a lot of questions. Okay, so the first thing, I'll just start with the chaff. I'll just explain. I haven't been watching this show right now, so I'll just explain it. So the chaff quadcopter, basically, it'll spew out a bunch of chaff amounts, which are defined by the chaff count number. Basically, all it'll do is it'll block mega projectiles from cannons, and if it hits, it'll do basically an accuracy check to see if it was successful or not. Independent of whether or not it's successful, the chaff will get consumed. It can theoretically consume multiple chaffs if multiple chaffs try to do it. If it's successful, you'll see the mega cannon projectile miss the makeship. If it was unsuccessful in blocking the projectile, then it will hit the module that it was targeting anyways.
So somewhat like an anti-mortar in terms of the mechanic against the projectile.
Yeah, it basically each shaft gets one attempt at it and then gets consumed. But multiple shafts, if like they're in proximity of each other, will attempt to like try to stop it.
Okay.
Also, it's really like the anti-mortar, where multiple shafts will attempt to stop the same cannonball, so to speak.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
So then the next, am I going back to the questions? Do you remember?
Well, George, I mean, if you,
So I have one. I have one. I mean, I think, Raiken, is it true that countermeasure specials will not buff the anti-mortar special in the quadcopter?
Correct. So basically, every single mega core component, like the mega weapons stuff that you see, all of those will always, until you see like a mega special come out, will never ever be affected by the like normal specials or anything like that. They have their own properties. They're completely separate. Now, the normal specials that you guys have will buff like the normal weapons and stuff that you equip to it. Like, you know, when you have like the slots, those will get buffed, but not the actual big core awesome picture and thing. That thing will not be buffed.
Then what kind of specials then can I use in the quadcopter special slot?
Right. So because the quadcopters have a new slot type, which are countermeasure only. So you can only equip countermeasures in that slot. Now, things that buff countermeasures, like countermeasure reloaders or whatever, those will affect the ones that you have equipped, right? Like if you equipped Phalanx 4, right? They'll still buff Phalanx 4 like you would on any normal hull, right? They don't help like the chaff thing, for example, right? They don't help the chaff weapon built in, but they do help like the Phalanx 4.
Because the chaff is a different type, but
right, it's a different type. Yep.
So the quadcopter has a weapon that's a countermeasure type to put in the quadcopter. If I put that weapon, the countermeasure, in the quadcopter, then I have a special slot. And you said I cannot use countermeasure loaders in there, can I?
No, you can. You can use countermeasure loaders.
I can.
Yeah,
that was my question.
But it won't.
Yeah,
It's not going to affect the actual in like native anti. It's like the drones where if you put a special on.
No, it should affect. That's what I'm trying to understand. So the countermeasure weapon for the quadcopter, the MK1 there, it has 35% accuracy. If I equip that in the quadcopter and then I put the CML special in the quadcopter,
so
is it going to buff the accuracy?
The MK1 comes built in with the quad. You don't equip anything. It comes with
okay.
it. Right.
Yeah,
so
it's like the drone. It's like
exactly.
Has the missiles because you have the missile. You have the missile in the middle of the drone, and that's like native to the drone. But then you can also equip missiles to it, and then add a missile special. But the missile special will only affect the missiles that you equip to it, not the actual.
So you're telling me I could put Gales in the quadcopter and then use CML, and the CML will buff the Gales, and that will shoot down mortars from regular ships, for instance.
Correct.
Yes.
Now
the question is, you cannot make these offensive in nature, then, right?
Nope, because the slots that they have are countermeasure only. And if you put a coax weapon in there, it'll only fire the countermeasure portion.
Okay, so these are
I have a question.
Strictly defensive in nature.
Yes, 100% defensive.
Okay.
Okay,
Cool.
my question is, can I have 120 gantry shots?
No.
Damn it.
Dude, come on, man.
So you get off, you don't get, right?
I do think
I-
you want 120 Hyperion shards. Isn't
Can
that
I
right?
can I ask you something, Raiken? We had that great segment where we had the discussion one-on-one about the mega holes. And I know you brought up, and I couldn't remember because I did mention this earlier. I couldn't remember whether you'd give me a date or not. But I know we discussed the Reaver mega holes, and I wondered if you were at liberty to discuss that any further, if you had more of an idea as to where that was going.
Okay, yeah, sure. So, what can I say? So it got pushed out for a variety of reasons. Not that we won't do it; we're definitely going to do it. It's just we're looking at trying to improve the mega experience as a whole first, basically. This is sort of the first step.
Before you expand.
Right, correct, yeah. So you'll see like our first sort of pass at this with, but I have a entire document of like all the things I want to improve and all the feedback that we've gotten from players. I basically culminated into one giant document. So we're now culling through that and seeing what's priority and what's going to be important and what's not, and then try to figure out, okay, well, we need to release these and do a mega quality pass update before we go on with a new mega haul. Right now, that won't mean we won't stop making content for mega ships in the meantime, but we're going to be focusing on making sure that the mega experience is smooth and what we want before we expand. That's the general idea.
Mm-hmm. Okay, guys. Was there any more topics?
I had a question, and I don't know if that's something you can comment.
You've got that evil look in your eye, Ren.
Yeah, I mentioned that before. Can we ask any questions or get anything about OP9?
About the what?
No.
I didn't hear the question.
Raiken just says no, drops mic and walks out.
It should. That would be great.
No, we did not bring.
Just give Ren the finger and you can leave. I mean, that's all.
So here's another question then.
You can swear on the show, Raiken. You can swear. It's fine.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
I have to actually consciously think about not swearing when I'm on these shows.
Yeah. You haven't met me before, then. I'm British.
I'll swear for you, Ren. Fuck you. All right.
Okay.
Stay on target. Ran out of questions.
No, I'm just kidding.
Our man is busy.
Look, so we are working on Outpost 9. It's really cool. More coming soon.
Nice.
I like that. That's like earlier on. George went, yeah, interesting. I mean, that's just like that comment, really. It's.
I mean, wow! I think all my questions have been answered. Brilliant. How did you do
I
that?
told you.
No.
He should just have said 42.
Yeah, I could have.
Vaguely unrelated comment and question. I've been kind of keeping track since you did the giant PvP PvE divide of managing power creep within the game, and as much as I do occasionally like to give the team some crap, when I do the analysis on the specials and the weapons and such, they're usually within a few percentage points of each other, and a lot of them are better situationally. So, good job. I didn't expect to be saying that, to be completely honest with you, but you guys are doing a pretty good job of keeping the power kind of self-contained and not increasing as much as some might think. So, yay. The question is, a lot of the recent changes today, dropping the R&D from 20 down to 5 and things like that, and some of the offers in particular are geared at making mega holds easier to acquire, and this was pushed as an endgame feature and hasn't been out for very long. I can't remember the exact time. I'm just intrigued as to why the changes would come so soon after release. Is it kind of a tech barrier now? You have to be able to hit the 91s and get your sectors in orange. Is that more the barrier that you wanted to define now rather than just spend all that time building?
Yes and no. Yeah. So the initial barrier for like building the gantry and the Hyperion, I think we don't really want it to take that long to actually get that part of it. I think the more the time we expect to be vested in the actual building and upgrading of the mega. So I think what you're sort of seeing here is us trying to expedite that process. So like reducing the R&D requirement so that you can actually start building a gantry and a Hyperion, right? And then, we're trying to up the spawn rate of the 91 so more people can grind out the titanium, because I know that's been a complaint. We lowered the initial cost of the Titan and the Culverin cannon for the initial level 1 module, so that because people were having problems trying to just get up and going and actually being able to build like a module suite. So we reduced it so that's easier to do that. And then we did the bubble, like the the repair time of the bridge and the repair time of the modules. We did that change primarily to help prevent the -1 deficit that basically people were getting, instead of making it at least net neutral. And then also incentivizing attacking, because if your bridge is destroyed, then you're only having like a 4-hour wait at most, right? So that's super solid. And then also incentivizes hiving, of course, because you don't want your bridge destroyed. So that's sort of the basics of it.
So the rumors are true that you guys are actually listening to the players?
Horrible way to put that, but
I have a question about that.
I mean, that's essentially what it is. All the stuff that was on that list, like I said earlier, all the stuff that was on that list is all the shit that everyone was complaining about.
Yeah, it is.
And you guys just went on like a 5-minute tear about saying the exact same thing that I said in a sentence.
yes, but you know that
So yes, the rumors are true. Kickside listens, guys. They actually
there
do.
will still be a huge list of stuff that people are unhappy with. Okay, because they are always unhappy. We are always unhappy pirates. So,
Raiken, I have a question
That's
for
the
you.
community.
We actually discussed earlier in the show today. Malice is the first Conqueror hull to be released without a companion weapon and special. On later, or is this it? Should we just use the stuff we have?
No, you guys will be receiving more cannon-focused components in the near future.
knew it.
So
Well, we have to because we got Siege coming too, right?
Yes.
That was kind of directed to.
Please
That-
please
that's
tell
okay.
me
You
that
can
I'm
answer
finally,
too.
I'm finally going to be able to use the Vasago Punisher to do something with it.
No, you can't. It's just going to be sitting there looking pretty, okay?
Because it's
I
just
mean, unless
sounding
you
like
want us to use, we could use Cepha throws, you guys. We do-
Park your Vasago Punisher near Mark's Man of War.
There you go.
yeah, just for that.
Now for real. So we're gonna see a cannon and a special to go along with the Malice later on. Saying my only concern is like now building it. Although we get a token to build it, kind of like for free, there will be a refit later, right?
Potentially. It depends on if you value the cannon valuable or not, or whatever the good components are out, right? If you're like, I don't want that, then, or you don't believe it'll be good, then sure, go ahead and build whatever.
Okay.
You won't have to refit. But if you are concerned about it at all, then, that's your decision. But
That's the
I would argue,
whole
like,
thing. It's a really good
I would
lead
argue-
tank brought up earlier, so
Well, that
Yeah,
we've
and
also
like-
seen. We've also seen in the past that they've, because of the power creep, as Brian mentioned, they've released stuff that was not quite as good as stuff that we already had, or they were setting them up in.
They're
in
different.
sets
They're
like-
not necessarily better.
Well, we have the Garwood. The Garwood came out and it's great. It's an awesome cannon, but when you do the math and you look at its status, it's actually lower than the reciprocator that had come out earlier in the FM. So we have, we're not Kixeye, and I'm sure Raiken can't tell us, but there might be plans in out there.
Yeah. I just wanted to know. I mean, and thanks for sharing. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like I've seen, like Pack with Arbalist Railgun combos doing quite well, like from what I saw. So it's not like, oh no, like new thing came out, I have to equip it. It's like, no, like you'll still be viable. It's just like, what strategy do you want to employ, right? And if you think the new stuff will give you a better strategy for the things that you're fighting, great, go get it, go equip it, right? If you don't, then fine. That's your decision. So
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay, well, Raiken, is there anything that you wanted to take the opportunity to put out there? Was there anything you wanted to discuss in the time slot you had, or was it really
or did we
I just
miss
got on
anything?
because I knew you guys had questions, so I was just here to answer questions. I didn't have anything in particular yet to really talk about, but
Yeah,
I'm
Okay.
happy to
Is there
answer or
anything-
talk with you guys about stuff.
well, how are my Reaver attack dogs coming along?
Oh,
Oh,
you'll get
Lord.
those. Let me see here. Let me look this up for you, bud.
You gotta check your
think-
schedule?
Yeah, dude, I got it all planned out for like the whole next year, dude. Okay, we'll say, let's go April 1st, 2017.
Oh yeah,
We'll have it.
yeah, all right.
That's perfect. There you go, Stu.
Reaver attack dogs. That's Fallout 4, right?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Nice. Now, did you happen to catch us going over the new specials? Did we miss anything? Because honestly, I looked at it. I had a quick look at it because I had some stuff going on at home, and they seem. I mean, I'll tell you, the first thing that I thought was that they seem a little overly complex. Honestly, I mean, like one of the things was that you can't hit it with an area of an effect, splash, spread, piercing, things like that. Correct. But what about Ren? What was it that we were wondering?
So I asked about the airstrike UAV because it has no splash, no spread, and it is a direct hit weapon. So I would think the airstrike UAV should be able to hit.
That's fair. So the thing about it is, is that it needs to be accuracy driven, basically. So it can't be like multi anything, and it has to be accuracy driven. It's basically
so the airstrike, like with all UAVs, it's 100% accurate.
Well, they don't have accuracy at all.
Yeah, they need an accuracy stat on the.
So they don't have an accuracy stat. But what about, like, say, was it the Garwood that was the other thing that we were talking about?
Garwood's flash.
Yeah, the Garwood and the reciprocator was another one.
They both have spread, so you can't use those.
So
either.
no. Okay, so it is anything spread, splash.
Anything with spread splash is out, and anything without an accuracy stat's out.
Yes. So basically, like the easy way to look at it is like accuracy cannons, missiles, launchers. Like those will work.
Okay.
Right.
Launchers.
Gotcha.
That's another one. That's good. Okay. Yeah,
so when am I seeing my fire dancing UAVs?
Also April 1st, I promise.
April 1st is That's going down in my file effect now. So.
You realise April 1st I'm coming to my Reaver attack dog, right?
April 1st is going to be a big update.
Oh yeah, always is.
Yeah,
it's always the biggest one of the year, guys.
I suppose
solves all the problems. Makes
okay, guys.
Let's be out on April 1st as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, you'll see in the data. You can rely on the data miners for that one. Yeah.
Well, let's also not forget that Kicksite is going to be rewarding us with a fantastic Christmas present again this year, so be sure to log in on Christmas Day to receive that.
Man, Liam, all these rumors, dude.
No, but they did 1 year. 1 year they actually did give us 100 gold. This is
and then for the next 5 years, everyone wants it.
But then all of a sudden, everyone had 6 alt bases and were sending themselves blueprint gifts. So I don't think Kings ever did that again.
I remember that. That was the best Christmas ever.
If you had like 6 email addresses.
Man, your standards are really low.
Yeah.
I'm just not even. Wow.
Okay, guys.
Well, listen, guys. Yeah, I mean, for me, I am gonna have to wrap up the show there, and I wish I could keep us talking with Raiken for as long as possible, but it is late for me, and I do have work tomorrow, so I'm sorry. I'm in the UK, and the time difference is there.
He has to fix his hair.
I have to fix my hair. I have to get extra early to gel the hair. But no, Raiken, really appreciate you coming on and taking the time to talk with us. I hope we haven't been too aggressive with our comments, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. And to all of the guys on the show, thanks for coming out. And we'll see you on Saturday's open mic.
Yes.
Goodbye, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving to all Americans.
Yep.
Be safe. Don't deep fire turkey. Don't go
to Americans. Yeah.
Happy
Enjoy.
Thanksgiving. Thanks for coming out.
Don't stab anyone on Black Friday, okay?
Don't leave the house on
Black
Black
Friday.
Friday. Don't go out.
Because I did that last year, and it was a whole mess, and just
Yeah.
Good night, everyone.